Okay, so before we get into this Season 6 legend breakdown and tier list, there is a timestamp for every single legend and the order that they pop up. So if you do want to go to a certain time to see your legend or your main, then make sure you go in the description and all of them will be listed below. Alright, so hello everyone. Today I'm going to be going over a Apex Legends legend tier list. This is my personal tier list. You may obviously change around some of the legends if you so desire, but this is my personal opinion, and I'm non-biased, by the way, because obviously my main is 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀, and that is probably because I've got used to 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀 so much, and I've probably mastered her abilities. I would personally put her kind of higher, but I had to kind of include, how easy the legend is to master, all that other stuff, and 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀 does come out quite balanced in this tier list. I am non-biased with my results, and obviously that's, good. So, yeah, we're going to get right into this. So the first legend that is, well, clearly the worst in the game right now is
That was awesome.
𝗦𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗰𝗿𝗄. So 𝗦𝘂𝗀 is the worst one. We're going to get his ultimate real quick as well, just to obviously show you why. But here we go. Okay, so obviously we will wait a little bit longer, but obviously you know his abilities. I'll throw the abilities up right now for 𝗦𝘂𝗀. I will do this for every single legend, just so anyone who doesn't know, obviously, can also be informed. So yeah, 𝗦𝘂𝗀's abilities, I mean, the main problem with his abilities, I would say, is his stim. So I'm going to turn on my volume right now, here, there we go. So, if we use his stim, you'll realise that he loses a little bit of health when he uses it. You can see he loses around about 10 health or something like that. And if you think about competitive play, then that 10 health can mean a lot. Despite how fast he can actually run, like he can run at pretty fast speed, it also makes quite a loud sound as well. So if you're trying to get away from like a fight or something over there, and you're trying to run over here, it'll make such a loud sound that the people who are actually trying to find you will easily find you, because not only will it make a loud sound, but you'll also have a green trail behind you as well. So it's like it's very easy to find an 𝗦𝘂𝗀 trying to run away. Um, Obviously, if you want to compare to other legends, 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀, I mean, she has the exact same amount of speed when she uses her passive. So honestly, you're better off using 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀, because she doesn't lose health when obviously using her passive, and she doesn't make any loud sound. She's very, very quiet when she does it as well, Like, it's like, 𝗦𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀 needs something for that ability, I think you should either just not take any health at all and just keep on running or something. I don't know how it would work, but anyway, obviously his ultimate is a big problem as well, because when you use it, you can't control yourself in the air. You see, I'm trying to run over there, and it just doesn't work. If I want to kind of like get away from a situation, like if I'm pushing the team from over here, and they see me mid-flight coming over, and they start shooting at me, I can't like kind of direct myself anywhere else. And I think the big change that needs to be with this, I will obviously put forward my changes and stuff for these abilities, is it's a launch pad. It should be able to launch you into the air and redeploy you. No other ability or nothing does that. You see it has airbags and stuff on the bottom, so I believe this should only have about 3 uses for the team. So every single person can use it, and it's like a free kind of get out of like a wild card type of thing, like get out of jail type of thing. Only 3 people can use it, the squad, and you just get totally launched in the sky, and you can redeploy and kind of go to a different area. That'll be incredibly good, because obviously it's an ultimate. That's probably what an ultimate should do. Especially how Pathfinder's zipline can probably get the same distance as a redeploy. So it would really fit into the game, especially as an ultimate. People were saying that you should be able to control how far you can go and how high you can go with the jump pad, but Sorry about that, guys. It just disconnected again, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, people were saying that you should be able to control your height and how far you go with the jump pad, but you would still be able to you'd still be able to be tracked in midair by like enemy squads and stuff. So it wouldn't really still work, honestly. But anyway, the only really good ability that Octane would probably still need to keep is his passive, the way that he can recharge his health. I'd personally say that for his tactical though, combined with his passive, he should be able to recharge his health as he's stimming, because the fact that you can't recharge any health for a very long time when you are trying to get out of a situation with all the added, negative side effects, with, when you are stimming, you have a trail behind you, you're very loud. I think you should be able to heal your health whilst you're running. I think that would kind of balance it out a little bit more. But the ability of keeping, recharging his health makes sense. It makes sense. I'm party right now. No. But yeah, the next legend that we're going to be going over is
Just die already.
Revenant. It's very loud, the people talking, but yeah, Revenant. I mean, we're getting into like the segment already that legends are good. These legends are good in their own ways. Like I've died off plenty Revenant ultimates like before. It's not as if he's like really bad. He's very tall. So I guess look how fucking tall he is. He's like the height of this thing right here. Anyway, but obviously he's been. I think. What is he now? Yeah, he doesn't have the low profile anymore, which makes sense. I mean, he's 6'8", I think he is. So like, big legend. Doesn't deserve a low profile at all. So he has had plenty buffs last season with his obviously his tactical. Now you're able to shoot too. And it charges up less for less time as well. Obviously, his death totem, I believe when you respawn off it, you have more health. I think that's a thing that happens now, but I've got no clue. He's obviously a very good legend. There's not really much I would change to make him more in the meta, honestly. I think his abilities are really like balanced right now. Honestly, like there's nothing really much that you can improve with them. If you improve anything, I think it'll just be a bit too much. Honestly, I think it's just the main thing why I'm putting him down here is I think his abilities aren't useful enough. You can't really change his abilities. You can rework him, but he just came out. So I think Revenant will be down in the bottom end of the list for a very long time probably. So if we're just try and put us in a game scenario, we'll be shooting someone. I'm gonna disable the abilities. It does 10 damage to them, but if you notice as well that it's like this thing that will shoot at them, it kind of blocks their view. It blocks my view of them, and it blocks their view of me. And I disabled the abilities for about 15 seconds. So I think Revenant's a good team player, but not the best team player. Because obviously his death totem, it can be useful at times, but at times Revenant's Wraith's portal is very useful as well. So it just depends on how good your squad is at using the death totem as well, because you can use a death totem and just rush a squad and then immediately die, and then you have to heal up. Or you can do quite a lot of health and quite a lot of damage to the other team, and then you'll probably be able to kill them very, very instantly, very quickly, and all that. It just depends on how good you are at using Revenant, but I'm putting him at the 12th spot, I believe that is. Yeah, every single legend after you is really, really good in their own ways. It's hard to put them, above and below the last one. But yeah, that is Revenant. We're going to get on to the next one. So the next one is... Oh my god, I read that wrong. I was about to say what? Bloodhound's next? No. It's Lifeline. I've put it in the opposite order, going down anyway. So the next one's Lifeline, and you may be thinking, why Lifeline? She's had like a buff recently, a lot of it. Yeah, no. Lifeline is like good in our own ways. Personally, I don't like her at all. Like, I don't see the point of her. Especially how 𝗲𝗏𝗁 is like in the game, and I mean he's pretty useful. But anyway, Lifeline's abilities, I'll put them on screen right now when I'm doing the editing. But you can see this is Lifeline's drone right here. It's got a very large cooldown. I think it's 60 seconds, and you can obviously heal up a full squad. Very useful. And you can also, the passive is you can revive someone literally in the middle of nowhere, and you put like a huge shield. I believe that shield should be, a lot of people have been saying this, I believe this shield that you revive people off should be like encasing all of Lifeline. I think it should just totally encase Lifeline, and you can just get the person up. Because most of the time, you know, so it used to be the fact of, you know, I'll just wait until I'll just try and get around her shield and try and kill her. But now people just wait until the person's up, and then whoever kills the person first gets the kill. That's the kind of like new thing that people do. So that ability is very well like kind of mastered now. Like people know how to counteract it. Which is annoying because it's such a good ability, but no, like now everyone knows how to counteract it though. So it's like it's annoying. So I think it should be a full-on dome like 𝗲𝗏𝗁's. I mean, 𝗲𝗏𝗁's been stealing Lifeline's abilities. Why not she steal some of 𝗲𝗏𝗁's? Make them very, very similar. I don't know. But it should be a dome that goes around Lifeline off a little dock thing, and it should just totally encase Lifeline and obviously the person. And it should give both of them about a 3-second like grace period or something to like try and get out of that scenario and like away, you know what I mean? Obviously people could still surround the dome, but if you have that little bit of grace period that you just don't get hit on often, then that'll be perfect. I mean, obviously, you know, we don't really have that many invincibility kind of abilities in the game. I think Wraith just kind of only has them, so it'll be kind of, I mean, you know, reviving people out in the open, Mirage is basically the best at doing that, and he isn't even a support character, so Lifeline needs to top that game, you know what I mean? That is the main thing. Obviously, we have heard from the leakers that there is going to be a new ultimate for Lifeline, which is well deserved. The best thing you can get out of these the Lifeline things is a purple shield, and that was very, very good at the start of the game because you can just get equipped with a purple shield. But now with vaults, with all of this, you know, alternative loot, I'd say, you can get a lot of gold and purple shields in the game now. At the start of the game, you couldn't. So this care package is pretty much useless. I mean, you can get some attachments, but it'll be like only one. And if you compare this to 𝗏𝗏𝗁, where she can put a bloody shop down and it collects all the items in the vicinity, you'll probably get everything that you need from that. You know, a care package is not useful. So the new ability for Lifeline likely will be the thing that were found in that one event. I forgot what it was called again. But essentially, her ultimate will heal everyone in the surrounding vicinity. It actually in the event it was your team and enemy teams as well. I don't believe that should be a thing, especially how the aim of this is to improve Lifeline. Have an ability where it's like a drawback shouldn't be a thing. It should only be your team that you can heal. Maybe they could make it so it's also the enemy team, but then again, the entire squad would have to push back from the enemy team unless you don't want to heal them. So yeah, it's like a little pulse that the event. It was like a little pulse that went around and it just healed everyone in the surrounding vicinity. It was pretty good. And I would like that to be Lifeline's ultimate because she is all about healing. The fact that she has just a random loot ability for the care package doesn't make sense. And also, if you think about, oh, well, I miss the care package and all that stuff, you know, like that ability, I'll miss that, you know? It doesn't make sense, because for new players, if you think about it, if you see a care package coming down from the sky, you immediately think, oh, devotion, all this other stuff. But the slight difference of it being light blue to pink care packages are Lifeline ones, that slight difference, and also the fact that Lifeline care packages come down slightly faster as well. And that obviously care packages have blue lights on them and appear on the map. Lifeline care packages don't appear on the map, and the blue light will slowly fade away because someone will open the care package immediately. So there's very slight differences that you have to take note of. And what the fuck was that? And for a new player, them slight differences wouldn't really take that much notice of, which it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Because then you would know that there's a team over there. So no, in a way, Lifeline kind of throws out the team with this ability. For obviously people who understand what it means. And obviously it's an ability that's already an in-game feature. A care package is already an in-game feature, so having an ability for it doesn't really make sense. So a new ability should be for Lifeline, not a rework per se, but just a totally new ability. So that's something that you can do to improve Lifeline. Crypto. Crypto is the next character that I'm going to be going over. I'll put his abilities up on the screen as well when I'm going to edit this. But I'm actually going to show you right now, honestly, because look at them abilities. Every single one of them is about the exact same thing. They're all the same thing. If you look at them all, there's nothing different. It's all about the drone. You know what I mean? He has had plenty buffs in the past. The recent update only made it so you can now ping boxes or something, which is good, but they haven't added the feature that I've been really wanting for Crypto that would actually make him pretty good. Especially how 𝗏𝗲's in the game now, it would kind of be needed. Crypto, I was thinking that Crypto's drone should have an inventory, and that it could be able to open boxes. I mean, it already can be able to do that, but you can only do that to see what's inside. You can't actually pick anything up. But his drone should be able to. There we go. Activate right now. I haven't used Crypto in a very long time actually. It's very fun to use. But it should be able to pick up items. You know what I mean? If I go over these items far distance, get some damage done on a team to kind of catch them off guard. His drone is incredibly annoying to destroy, which is a good thing because, he needs these kind of little buffs, Crypto. But I do believe the main problem here is the fact that all of his abilities are about his drone. His passive should be moved into the tactical, honestly, because it's just the same thing. And he should get a new passive, a totally new passive, and he should be able to pick up items with his drone. A very low amount of items, obviously. Because, 𝗏𝗲's just came out in the game, so I think Crypto should get a little bit of love with this drone, to kind of get some loot capabilities. So anyway, that is Crypto right there, and also his ultimate his ultimate only affects the area around the drone as well. So you can actually press RT right here to actually use the ultimate, but if I just exit right now and use my ultimate here, you can see it goes around the drone. I feel that if you don't have the drone active and you use the EMP, it should go around Crypto, because essentially that will be a buff and a nerf at the same time. So, because obviously, when you recall the drone, it goes on his backpack. It goes into his backpack. So his drone's still on him. It's in his back. So I think instead, when you use his ultimate without his drone actually out, it should do an EMP around Crypto. Crypto would lose his 50 shield, but if that would be in clutch moments, you know what I mean? You just use your ultimate and everyone around you loses their 50 shield without having to pull out your drone, go to the area that you want to do it, and all that stuff. It'll be way easier doing that. So that should be a little bit. Them two little buffs should probably come very useful. Anyway, that is the what place is that now? I think that's 10th. So yeah, next one is Watson. Now people might be kind of annoyed at me putting Watson so far down in the list, but it's deserved. You might have seen a trend right now. It went from Revenant to Lifeline, obviously, then Crypto, then Watson. We're going Also Octon as well. Octon was the first one I went over. So you can see all of the paid for legends and the seasonal legends all turn out pretty shit in comparison. So anyway, so Watson, I haven't used Watson in ages. But you can use like fences to you know, shock some teammates, shock some enemies and stuff. Pretty useful in competitive play. There's not really much to say about Watson. I mean, everyone knows how to use it probably. It's just fences, and then people just go through it, and then they get shocked, and then it tells Watson that they get shocked. I'll put obviously Watson's abilities on screen. I'll actually show you right here. I mean, it's just very balanced, honestly, very, very balanced. There's not really much else to say, honestly. I mean, the ultimate is pretty good as well at charging shields. The only thing I would probably improve is, I mean, if you think about it, Watson's really bad at like 1v1 fights, honestly, because she's a team player. She's a defensive character. She's a team player. I feel like probably the UI for this could be improved. I mean, you can hover over this and like then connect it off another one, but it doesn't really work though most of the time. You know what I mean? It only goes off like the nearby one. It doesn't really make sense sometimes. Like that one's connecting over to that one. Like if I place it here, it'll connect to that one. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense. I remember when I was using Watson, it didn't really make sense. So I'm hovering this one, and I want to put it over here. It connects us to this one. It's really weird. You know what I mean? You can't really control it that much. I mean, if you can control it, you'll have to obviously learn it quite a lot. But it's a very, very weird UI. I think that's the only thing I can really say about Watson. So yeah, I'll just move on to the next one. 𝗂𝗁𝘁. A lot of people are, you know what it is, saying that 𝗂𝗁𝘁's this far down as well. But almost the same as Watson in some scenarios as well. Put the 𝗂𝗁𝘁 trap down. He's the most annoying character right now, honestly. 𝗂𝗁𝘁. So, obviously his trap, boom. It puts off smoke, and you can see it ticks upwards right here. So 7, then 8, then 9, and then it stops at 10. And every single one afterwards is 10 damage per tick. It's pretty good. Look at the health that does. So it does a lot of damage. His 𝗂𝗁𝘁 traps. Very, very good at camping out a building. But it's annoying as fuck if you're the other enemy. Because the amount of times I've just walked into a building, a 𝗂𝗁𝘁 trap goes off, and I shit myself. And it's just like, there's half my health gone, you know. it's annoying, you know. And then I have to heal it up, and then obviously the enemy team knows where I am as well. At least with Watson fences, like, it's just a slight shock and then like a slight stun. But this, it totally slows you down, and you're inside of the toxic gas as well. Like, it's annoying. And you also have no notice that it's actually there. It doesn't make any sound like the Watson fences. You can also pick up these as well. So I mean, if you know that no one's there, you can just go, you know, totally pick them up as well. Obviously, 𝗂𝗁𝘁's tactical, very balanced. His ultimate is just a massive smoke grenade that can just smoke out an entire area. Pretty good. I'm putting him so far down the list this time because I feel like he's only really a team player again. I mean, it's the same as Watson, honestly. He's very good at team play. I guess he's really good at 1v1s as well because he has that the ability of the fortified, so that gives him extra health. Also, Watson's also low profile. I forgot to mention that. Anyone else I forgot to mention? Yeah, Lifeline's low profile. I think they should remove that, honestly. The low profile. Actually, no, I should keep it because it's just like the smallest character in the game. There's some legends that we'll get to that they need to remove the low profile for because Pathfinder. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Literally in a minute as well. That's the next one. No, second to next one up. Anyway, but yeah, 𝗂𝗁𝘁 pretty good 1v1 and honestly as well because he has that fortified ability, he has extra health, but then again though he is a big target, so it's kind of balanced either way. Anyway, next one up is, I'm sad to say it though, it's 𝗏𝗁𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗰𝗿𝗄, man. Right, well, 𝗏𝗁𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗃's next because she is the most balanced character. There's no bias and nothing going around here. She's literally what was it now? 7th. She's 7th. She's 7th. There's 6 other legends better than her. It hurts my heart to say it, but yeah, 𝗏𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗰𝗏 is in the very center of the list. Because her abilities, I can go on for a while. I'm not going to. But her abilities are very, very balanced. And they can be used. She's mostly used as a legend for new players. Because her abilities are so easy to understand and just it makes sense. A smoke grenade. What does it do? Smoke out the area. There you go. And you know it's very useful, that ability in combination with her passive. I'll throw up her abilities as well on screen when I'm editing. Combine the smoke with her passive that makes her run fast when getting shot at. By the way, it's a pretty fast speed as well. You can get out of any situation with her. And she'll just be gone, you know? You won't know where she is unless you have a digital threat. I'll go over the negative sides about her that can't be fixed. But obviously, you know, digital threat, you'll be able to see her through the smoke. And her ultimate. So her ultimate is pretty useful. It takes too long to charge up. I think that's the one thing that I can probably improve about her. But yeah, our ultimate, it throws down a lot of like these airstrikes, and it totally blocks off a massive area. And I've noticed that although it's very bad and doesn't really do that much damage, and it doesn't really kill anyone, it's very rarely that you kill anyone in comparison to like Gibraltar's ultimate. It does block off an entire area, and no one will really come through it because they will take damage. You'll know where they are, when they are taking damage. So it wouldn't really make sense. To, you know, go through that area. So, you know, that's why the ultimate is pretty useful, because it just blocks off an entire area of people, which I don't think that many other legends do, you know? If you're getting shot, you throw down your ultimate and all these airstrikes coming in, you know? It's not really useful at the close range, though, because it targets a massive area, and if they're right next to you, they'll be out of the area, you know what I mean? So, it wouldn't really work in that scenario, but the negative sides about 𝗏𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗰𝗏 is that if the enemy team has a digital threat, they'll be able to see through the smoke. So let me just show you right here. You'll be able to see through the smoke. Imagine that's 𝗏𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗏 right there running away. You'll be able to see her, and you'll be able to shoot her. And eventually kill her, you know? Which is a little bit annoying, but then again, though, 𝗏𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗏 can run very, very fast, so I guess she can run away from them scenarios as well. 𝗏𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗏 is really good at getting out of any scenario that she comes across. Another negative, though, about it is the fact that she doesn't really do anything for the team, which, you know, it's annoying. She's just a single character, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't really do anything for the team. Smoking it out kind of almost, like, kind of forces the team to kind of abide by the smoke, you know what I mean? Like, if all of the team is, like, in this smoke area, they won't be able to see anything, mostly. So yeah, I just got disconnected again. A little bit annoying. I don't know why this is keeping happening. But yeah, anyway. So, continuing on that kind of thing, your whole team will kind of get totally disregarded with the whole smoke thing, especially how they won't expect it. The whole smoke. Because sometimes you can smoke enemies' visions as well, so if you're getting sniped at long range, you can just kind of launch it. It launches very far, you know, that area all over there. You smoke it out, you know, it's very long range. I mean, the abilities have a lot of uses, you know. You can use the ultimate this way. I normally turn around and throw it behind us if I'm getting followed, but you can also use it this way. And then as you're running, they'll come down, see, and it'll be behind you. All of them will be behind you, and as you're running, they'll explode behind you. But it all depends on how you use 𝗏𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗏. A lot of abilities are pretty balanced, honestly. But anyway, we're going to go into the next one. So the next one is... where is it? I think it's Pathfinder. Yep, it's Pathfinder. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to put his abilities up on screen right now. So, so you guys know Pathfinder has had a recent nerf. Everyone's talking about it, and it's got to do with his. I mean, it's got to do with his tactical 35-second cooldown. it is pretty insane that that's a thing. I've done a whole video on this, by the way, if you wanted to go check it out. I've done a full video on the kind of balances for his ability. I'm going to just briefly go over it because, you know, I believe what should happen to Pathfinder's abilities is that his tactical should go down to 25 seconds, like what a lot of people are saying, but there should be additional reworks to his other abilities. Because in the future, his passive ability, I'll pull it up right now, this has been, I think, confirmed. His passive ability, Insider Knowledge, Scanner Saber Beacon, that will reveal the next ring's location, that will be removed because it will go to all recon characters. And something else I noted as well is that because this will be removed, it doesn't, just basically, just from his tactical and ultimate, it doesn't make Pathfinder a recon card anymore. It just, because them abilities aren't really recon, they're like more aggressive. You know, it doesn't make him a recon character. And that might be the original kind of response of Apex or Respawn, that they kind of want to make Pathfinder more of a recon character, so like you have to kind of use his passive more, and therefore they're gonna have to like make it so the grapple hook is nerfed and all this other stuff. So instead, what they should do is obviously do the whole thing with the passive, where they put on all the recon characters, for Pathfinder, and then make his passive an aggressive passive. So probably he can use his zipline 2 times faster. So like when he's on the zipline, he can go faster on it. That'll be pretty aggressive to do. Nothing too good, because obviously Pathfinder, with all these buffs in the future, will probably be very, very good again, and everyone will start using them again. So nothing too good. But instead of making a recon, make him an offensive character. It would make sense with these abilities. Grapple hook down to 25 seconds. Obviously, I just said that. Obviously, slightly higher than the 15 seconds beforehand, because all of the other legends that kind of have mobility and stuff are totally remastered, like totally like out of the park type of thing. They're just totally just hit by Pathfinder. He's too good with his grapple hook, especially with the people who like really know how to use him as well. Like the ones that can swing off things and get far distances and stuff. 25 is a good balance. Reason why they probably took down his tactical essentially to 35 seconds is probably because he can get around the map too quick. So what they should do is his zipline gun that takes 90 seconds to get it should be increased. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of other people's ultimates aren't as good as that, and it's like one of the best ultimates in the game. And for it to only have a 90-second cooldown, it's, you know. So I think what they should do is increase the range of the ultimate, so you can zipline from further distances, but also make it, because obviously increasing the range doesn't really do that much, you know, but it gives that extra kind of help, but also make it so the cooldown is longer, because that would fix the whole issue of Pathfinder getting to all these places like quite a lot, you know what I mean? Because of his grapple and all that. I mean, he can still do that, 25-second cooldown, but his zipline will be a longer cooldown. So he's almost not really that much of a squad player as much anymore, because his zipline used to get everyone up to a high ground. If it's got a longer cooldown, you won't be able to do that as much. So yeah, that is that. But obviously make it a longer distance, because then it'll balance everything out. You know, I want to make Pathfinder balanced instead. And I think he should be taken off low profile. I think they should improve his hitbox to make it so he's not a low profile character anymore. And that, because I think he's like 6'3" or something. He's a big character, and he just has a really skinny body. So I think they should kind of improve his hitbox a little bit and take him off that low profile, and that would be a really good buff for the Pathfinder for right now. Because his main ability after all this is his tactical, and if that's getting a big nerf, then everything else should get a big buff. I don't know why I keep on getting discounted from the firing range. It's really weird. But yeah, that's Pathfinder right there. A lot of things to say about him because of everything that's happened. But yeah, that's Pathfinder. And now we've got Mirage. So change legend, Mirage. There he is.
Of course you did.
So his recent rework has put him up there. He is now a viable legend in the meta. So we can actually control decoys now. That will actually mimic our every move, and it'll really kind of confuse the enemy. You can then release the decoy, so they just stand in one place, and then control them again. He's pretty good, the decoys. And the ultimate takes not very long to actually charge up either. So if we just use one of these, just to get up a little bit faster, I'll show you what the ultimate does as well. You probably already know what it is, but I'm putting Mirage here, because he is a pretty good aggressive character. These decoys mimic every move that he makes, and it really confuses enemies, because they might think that that decoy over there is him, or I am him, or this decoy over there is him, and then you can use this one, and then it'll totally throw them off as well. And then you can control that decoy, and then both of them mimic his every move, and you'd think it's that one, or it might be this one over here. It's really confusing for people who are playing as the enemy against a Mirage. I've died many times off it as well, because there's just decoys everywhere. Especially how you can get his ultimate so quick as well. It's pretty good. I think he's very balanced. I think the buffs were needed. And yeah, there's nothing I can say to improve him, because this is perfect. It's just the fact that he can't really do much for the team. I think that's the only thing that, I can say. He's not really a team character, so therefore he's not really going to be used in aggressive, in high tier players, with the competitive scene and everything. I don't think he'll really be used in that. But yeah, that's Mirage. Now we got 𝗲𝗂𝗁𝗲. So 4th place is 𝗲𝗂𝗁𝗲.
I couldn't leave so many treasures behind.
So obviously we want to give 𝗲𝗂𝗁𝗲, the heads up right now, because yeah, she's just new, and her abilities are getting a lot of traction right now. We can clearly see why they're good. And yeah, if you haven't heard of her abilities, just look at this. Hey, look at that. It's pretty good. The only negative thing about it is that with her tactical, is that when you use it, the cooldown is totally fine. It's like obviously Wraiths and Pathfinders, but when you use her tactical, it shows enemy squads where you're actually going, so they'll be able to hit you as soon as you land, which is a little bit annoying. But if you're good at controlling it, and if you want to drop it halfway, because you can cancel it or drop the ground halfway like that. See how the arc was like that. You can do that to kind of throw them off a little bit, maybe, to kind of make it so it seems as if you're going somewhere, but then you're not. So there's a lot of things you can do, but I think the tactical is very much balanced, and the shop as well. Here we go. You have everything in the surrounding area. Even the bloody gold weapons all the way down there can be accessed from right here, which is pretty good. I think it's very balanced as well. You can only take 2 items. But I think what should happen is that the shop ability should have a large cooldown. I don't know how long it is right now, but it seems like it's about 90 seconds or so. A percentage every second or something like that. So it's about 90 seconds or something. I think it should be about 120 for 𝗲𝗂𝗁𝗲, because if you think about it, you're going from one location, totally looting the hell out of it, taking the items that you want, to another location in the map that you're going to loot. So this ability, you're taking 6 free items, the best items out of the area that you want to take, and that'll be every single 90 seconds. You can take the best items out of a totally new area. So I think there should be 120, because that ability is pretty balanced, but I think all the abilities are very useful in certain scenarios that I think our ultimate should be a little bit nerfed for the cooldown. But that's it. That's all I can say. Her passive is very useful. Obviously, it gives her a bit of an advantage against fights and stuff, and looting areas and everything. Very useful, obviously. There's not really much I can say. She's very balanced and everything, and obviously provides for the team with her ultimate as well. And can get out of situations very fast as well with the mobility. So all round good character. Next one, you probably expected it, is Bloodhound. So I remember Season 4, start of Season 4, Bloodhound just was really bad. You know, he was probably like very, very far down on the list. But now, that enemy all over there is detected from my tactical. And the charge up is literally 20-something seconds, so it's very, very fast as well. So you can literally see all the enemies in the surrounding area. He's a good team player because of that. You can just tell everyone where the enemies are. Very useful. And his ultimate is incredibly good at pushing teams, especially like if you have a Bloodhound, you have him go in first with his ultimate, and you'll just be able to see where everyone is and get all the kills, because he's just so fast. And his passive as well is decently good, where you can obviously see the footsteps of people, and what they've done and how long they've done it ago, so you can kind of have like a little bit of insider knowledge, for like where they actually possibly are. So that's pretty good as well. All of his abilities are really good. It's annoying because like he used to be really shit, and now it's like everyone's using him again. Why can't I do something for Bangalore? Really sad. Anyway, Gibraltar is next. Let's go over him now.
Back in action, boys. Let's do this, brothers.
So the guy that's consumed all Lifeline's abilities is Gibraltar. So puts a dome down. No one can shoot through, no one can shoot out. Pretty useful. I mean, it's a full-on dome. It only lasts, I think, 12 seconds now, I believe, rather than 18 before, which is a good nerf for Gibraltar. Because Gibraltar has a lot of team-based mechanics, and also very good 1v1 mechanics. I mean, if you think about it, look, when you aim down sights, you pull up a massive shield that makes it so people have to hit you more times in the body. And also Gibraltar has a lot of health because he has a fortified as well. But I think what they're trying to do here with Gibraltar is not decrease his kind of 1v1 capabilities, because he's a buff character. He needs to be very, very good at that. You know, with his whole shield and everything, and his fortified. I don't think they want to kind of remove his 1v1 mechanics, but instead remove his team-based mechanics, or limit his team-based mechanics. And that would literally just be his dome shield. They'll likely make it so his dome shield is less powerful than normal. Some of his passives need to go though, I believe, because let me just do this. Yeah, some of his passives need to go because they're literally just taking all of Lifeline's ones. So I don't think that's a very good idea. But we're talking right now at things that he's too good at. At the rate now that he's too good and he needs to be nerfed. So there's nothing to buff about Gibraltar, certainly not. But yeah, that is that right there. That's Gibraltar, and last but not least is Wraith. So Wraith is just incredibly good at everything. She is a very small legend. She's the smallest legend in the game. I mean, look how small she is. Like, she's tiny. Comparing to that. She can go invincible for a split amount of time. People can hear when people are aiming down at her, which is just incredibly, which is pretty useful for that. And she needs nerfing. A lot of nerfs. What nerfs should be done? I believe her portal needs to be decreased in how long you can actually get it. I think it should be around about 150 seconds, honestly, because it's just too good right now. A lot of Wraith mains would obviously disagree with that, but if you think about it, she has been on the top of the game for too long. You know, she's been the #1 legend for too long. People would say that Mirage is the best legend or whatever now, and that's just because he's got the buff, but in the long run, he isn't that good, especially if you're talking about competitive play. But yeah, Wraith's portal needs to be decreased. I mean, well, increased in cooldown, I mean. Because it's just used too much, and it's just, you get it too quick. I also feel like the warnings as well that an enemy team is looking at you shouldn't be all the time. It shouldn't be as consistent as it is. It should be like only sometimes she gets notified that there's an enemy squad looking, because no one every single time an enemy squad is looking at you. This is annoying. I think my internet's having problems or something right now. Of course, as soon as I'm just starting to do a video, it just starts bugging up. Anyway, So continuing what I was saying right there. Yeah, so knowing every single time that an enemy squad is looking at you is just way too overpowered. So that is something that should be nerfed. I think our tactical fits in. Honestly, 3 seconds of invincibility is perfect. It's pretty good. I think it's just overused. I think, honestly, I think race is way too overused. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that has been my tier list. It's been a very long video, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I'll also put a disclaimer at the start of the video that I forgot to do in actual auditory fashion. I'll put a disclaimer at the start saying that you can skip to whatever part you want in the description. So yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.